nim anopay and Endra the course or the appointment committee graphic the Bokrata no edinina no ediaba the minority on the committee Endra STG a walkout vetting no in terms of asking the questions need the account when you know one more me and participate led by the minority leader Ora Afenyo Marken anopay graphic the Bokrata no ediaba, but we'll give you more details. Your bebo tapes no ediama ma weti me and who the course so a year veteran no I say now for 17 years of serving as a Supreme Court judge was say or qualify SCOB. He will be very surprised and Crawford because in the 2012 election petitioner as one about 2013 when him say he is one of the few justices are now one more dissenting view about court in Nijinaya one more AC. Now Justice Baffoe-Bonnie say a ben one say obi betina baby akase because onya dissenting view ninti ana omampenyi abona baso at the Chief Justice position no at the man but ono ankasa carry ne ho no hwe ne ho a watena Supreme Court why ye adwuma for 17 years. There is nothing that happened with Supreme Court why one year away. Okay. And then in fact obi anso ntimi in Kansas who said President Mahama ana nominating for the position of Chief Justice because ebia we NDC ni ana bibi but one person say I mean, was an adwuma or circuit court. With the dimua eba be PM or high court. Or man paying for by or promotino emanate me echo a year court of appeal. Okay, and from there was also enya the promotion as I call a year Supreme Court. And the court of appeal for 2 years, and then or more echo a year Supreme Court. Supreme Court, you know, what's now in the Juma for 17 years. He's the senior most serving justice. Say yeah, say at Ghana Supreme Court. And
does it mean that does it mean that or senior justice Araba?
Oh yes. Okay, Supreme Court, the former Chief Justice, and that is a fact.
Okay,
and no two ways about it. And or say Ocean credentials, Ocean Juma Waye from the prisons service, Koye Juma Kakra Edema the internal audit service, no internal revenue service. Says a GRA, right? And we free honomo started say obeko bench. Now what practice kakran so or practice ya or the bench. No, and the accounting and I mean clearly a bano a year justice in Ghana say you be deliver fairly dear waye juma and judicial system now on unim dia
Kwame,
and in fact clearly no he's more than willing.
This when a man may dream am be who are the same and then
ma odwen ho
on say can ye mra no your constitution no yen to me amend in such a way say enye man penny or by appointment of our Chief Justice beam
the high the be
name no enkonkoye ebia judicial council no na because based on education ya odema Ghana for na pay say Chief Justice Justice
Baffoe-Bonnie
Baffoe-Bonnie
they say acting
send run omovetino.
Yes, but he are approving.
Approving yet.
Yes.
But Kwame, Oshe the way I was serving for 17 years here. Now, based on information how they man the page say, or a senior most in terms of
justices. Yes,
justices or judge. I was serving. I was Supreme Court or a senior most. And think I didn't think your constitution, mandating to certain level say okay mwankasa mun choose no based on ranks and based on number of years you've served at the Supreme Court
at the bench. Okay, near the but I think that is what happens. And president does not just appoint. Judicial Council make a recommendation anytime there is a vacancy. And Judicial Council make a recommendation to the president. The list of people are one more bench so ache. Okay, and then by experience, go through all the ranks. About through that level. Now exactly. So that is the current.
And what share Okobi and Kawase for 17 years. Recommendation a corner saying, you to me sign on who cover will be on no beneath
say or be or no and survey to the years or no survey and then be chief justice
and chief justice.
Well, I don't know your president decision no.
That is the reason to make us say can't we amend?
You bet me amend it, but the question is as you say a person go through that. He said the was civil service anymore.
You go through the ranks.
Go through the ranks. Ababa drew the position of a chief director.
Yes.
Okay. And no, you're the utmost within the civil service. I mean, maybe we can say so because almost same structures. But when it comes to the judges now and as a justices now, you're different. And you know, who enter. Okay. From the circuit court. Now, what practice it from there?
Now,
there are years.
Yes.
ISS would do at each level. And so now, wait me a day. Ako when him now will rise it. But Nina no krano is by the recommendations. Ebeko president ho. Na president no a day a promote you.
Yeah.
Until from the circuit court to the high court. Okay. High court no obewo for a certain number of years. Na ya promote you. So our promotion must come from the presidency. Now, I mean, you do court of appeal. Then from the court of appeal, now over a year the Supreme Court.
Okay.
Now you were two major divisions of our court. So you were the lower court, okay, and you were the upper court.
Yeah, the upper court.
So from the high court, ekwa the kokosi a year the Supreme Court. Is known as the upper court, and then over a year the lower court now the circuit court, magistrate court, so clearly for you to rise from the lower level to the upper level, necessarily spend some number of years, and certain recommendations must come. And you want the president by saying yes, the Domahine, for instance, you didn't call court of appeal.
Yes.
And our Supreme Court, I have to cross check. So he's been there for some time. War High Court for some time. Juma and all of that.
Omar Liftino
to the next. Good. So I mean that is how it is. At any point in time, Biano, SSSR recommendation the day ever. The American not here say, and it is based on the number of years. Our year Juma day, okay, and see that is how it is now. Udru Supreme Court in the day, that is the utmost. Now, at the Supreme Court, for phobia near Chiribi, okay, and see it is also assumed say Obi our year Juma rise through all the courts. Now, what drew Supreme Court Obi Ohobia the Chief Justice okay, only say Obi nyani promotion. Echo hoja will be. Okay, so it's more or less like commissioners of police are you was say. And ubetimi a COP. Misubetimi a COP. But in terms of seniority, I became a COP before you become a COP. And they will factor it out. But at the point of becoming a chief justice or an IGP, it is solely the president.
I've got this information here. In the appointment of the chief justice, the variables at play doesn't include the Judicial Council. It is the president in conjunction with the Council of State.
Yes, but the point is that
you say it.
I understand, but you see the point is that Judicial Council a list of people Juma was Supreme Court say justices are okay, and president appointment obey constitution requires he must do the appointment in consultation with the Council of State.
Wonderful.
Jamaica not just say. And the Judicial Council never my recommendation. We Supreme Court. Nipa we was Supreme Court. Nipa we was Supreme Court. We are hope for this number of years. We are hope for this number of years. A could do president. President couldn't mean funny to me in a day. Any appointment, as an advisory body, as the Council of State, okay. All the time, president as I saw consult the Council of State.
But the Council of State,
exactly. President the choice.
A pan offer. Council of State 2 for president pan offer. What I say?
But it is a whole point in it.
Main point in it say.
Yeah, amend the constitution.
Yeah, amend the constitution.
Na yendru baby Judicial Council
Council and more autonomy.
Okay.
Omwankasa now you go through the ranks. Nobody would do surana a do level as a warrior on point to as a chief justice. They go
it takes control. The same as the police service, right?
The same as the police service.
Okay.
I'm saying because Endra idea was no time.
Vetting
yeah, time.
It didn't here.
Time. Too much.
I didn't money yet time.
No, I say I say Kwame. From the way I mean who Endra vetting, I say Wabetra my name. Not me preconceive idea be or that. But I'm looking for an opportunity. That is how I saw it, Endra.
Okay.
Because in ka walk out no, nanka ehu hia.
Walk out there, minority walk out.
Walk out na ehu hia.
Nanka ehu hia. Oh, but clearly, no, I think it's a minority, no, before this vetting, before Endra vetting, no, now almost state your position. In fact, one more can ya crack say vetting the crown, they wouldn't be part of it. They make another say there were earlier statements, minority, no, were very clear, say vetting the crown, one more part of it. Now, reason here, one more can say one more part of the vetting, no, was as a result of the fact, say, one more susu say. Former Chief Justice Tokuno, yes. The issues are kosono. There are cases are pending in court. Okay? And you know, wamunsusu yemono ebeya ne papemua anka yema Justice Baffoe-Bonnie act on continue to act because sa position no cannot be vacant.
Normal resolve issues.
Na resolve court issues ni yeden because court no emfa ne outcomes no emma ya unnim baby asa nkomo na ebekwa yeden ebekwa kosi. Okay? And you know anka yenkosoma Justice Baffoe-Bonnie act. Then court no ekana asem nyina siwie. Na the pronouncement ebawia, then we can be very emphatic in saying we are now appointing or affirming
the Chief
Justice. The American not here say. And these conditions were laid down clearly. So me, for instance, Endra no Adopano, I was a bit surprised. Say me who minority committee.
Yes,
exactly. I was surprised. So I was asking myself, say, what is the minority leader doing? Because this is the statement what
ahead of time.
Ahead of time.
Yeah.
So what committee in this what do you intend to achieve?
You see?
But again, on hindsight, obia wa monitor afenyo marking bia no obetimi ehu de wa oye ne niema. Probably so no person ko committee ni so. Na de wo mo person wo mo ka bia no wo mo ka wi a then they will state their position clearly. And exactly so
and you see
it's a certain preliminary comment
Mahama
Ayariga money responding
and also responding as a obi buefu me my own kasa. This one is not part of our rules, but we just allow it. You know, it's not supposed to be so. So
clearly, I mean that is what it is. And no more per se, one more demonstrate this, but because our position as minority was very clear. On the other side, Nana, I feel say minority is stage too many walkouts.
It's too much, Kwame.
Okay, one more stage which is allowed in parliamentary proceedings.
It is.
It is, but again, I feel say. The minority is serving the nation.
Yes.
Whereas majority is serving nation. No. Okay. They must sit. I mean, typically of minority leader, Fenyo Marke, unim say we vet now, oprobi.
Yeah,
pa. Issues be hokra, ebiana enye in the public domain. But by virtue of the fact say a vet in that woman, ebia wadigi dada. Okay, well, it happened to ministers, President Mahama, and nominate you or money at the end. It would have been in the best interest of the nation for the minority to have participated.
Yeah,
okay, to bring out certain things. About Justice Baffoe-Bonnie. Again, the point is that se muteki sa entrenched position now. Okay, it's in a bad faith. It's in a bad faith because. You are proving to the public and the Ghanaian people for them to see, say, as a Justice Isabatokono ANPP ni.
That is a poster.
Okay? That is a mental picture. Mupenti editor the Ghanaian people. So the thing is that yes, or your chief justice. Kwanya yefa so a ye no. Ebia you may not like it. Ebia enye fair. Okay? But again, the question is that are there any laws president no ebuswa na?
Nope.
Okay? Ekwanya yefa so a ye ni free ho through petitions ni ade no, you can question it. But the question is that did we follow due process? Yenam na kwan so na yes ade na. These are reasonable questions obi abetimi abisa. Now for you to entrench yourself in that position, say, I mean, at all costs, because a justice tokonunti no, you will not participate in the vetting no, upenti a wrong picture.
A wrong picture.
Again, a mamamino issues no, the public will view it in a different perspective.
With a different lens.
And no, it's more or less like ababeye politics, you see. And you know, say in this country, adebia ye the politics no ebe
I
say because partisan positions no has been taken already. You make a note here. They say in the minds of the NPP and the minority, wamu feel is Justice Baffoe-Bonnie, so to speak. President Muhammad or NDC. You make a note here.
Yes, that is
the mentality.
That is the
picture almost accurate. Again, I mean majority line of questions and Justice Baffoe-Bonnie. As a basso body, ye bo abaso, ye ni musivi dada, ye ni say adwuma no betimi aye. There was no instance.
Almost probi ye bisan nsema. Ebokoto dwemu no. Omo mbisa.
Also be ye we kwan be so na abefa so abeye no. In years past, instances in here, way SCA, okay, and Crawford file issues with the Supreme Court on the Electoral Commission, okay, court no bema a latter data. You bet TSM no cry we na the easy no person or yentia, ye TSM the bar court na easy why we na trem. So automatically the case becomes mute. Okay, so saa niema we nyina no yes.
Oh ba then na oba be ya fa ho.
Exactly. There na be ya fa. Yeah. Kwan be so na be fa so abeye niema different.
Yeah.
I mean the probing and critical issues are.
Eso mu bisa no.
Eso mu bisa.
Almost omo mbisa.
For me, I didn't get it.
And think MPP and I say afenyo any the team
minority no etnasia. All these things would have been done fairly. Okay? And see, for me, I feel like walkout far too many. Already mo numbers are a war chamber honisa. Okay? But always make sure say your voices will be heard.
Yes, that is it.
The work must be done.
Yeah.
Say no necessarily mutimi hold the majority more accountable. Okay? So I feel that minority leader must sit up a bit and then in making sure say I mean enye bibia necessary stage workout.
Kwame. Again, you are not
because you are not doing the Ghanaian any good.
Good because
two Obama say monko honko ye
adwuma mayen. Nti ehona wo no uni because of wo because of the amount for no.
Exactly. Even though we agree say okoye on the ticket of the party. But momian for politics nento check kakra because we have a nation to govern. Okay? And you many beer and Crawford year basis. Editorial petition say young chief justice in free one. What if says any man could happen and now? What will happen? Says any money BM could repeat in na esa ko CBMA.
Edena
Mobeka. What will happen this time?
Want me and say I'm vetting.
You cannot just say. And these are, I mean, serious and critical issues. It ought to have come out clearly out of the vetting. Now, Yetimi as substantiate to say, yes, he is not just Justice Baffoe-Bonnie, but he is very competent at what he's about to do.
That is
and the office is about to occupy. As simple as that.
As simple.
Okay? And for me, akwakoye the normal, usual politics, which is not helping us as a country.
Partisan
because
politics.
Maybe a yedru, no, na kwame. Ya try sa niyema we repeatedly. Ya yedebia and fam faso papa bia.
Kwame, it's anything I make us say. Let's amend the constitution.
So the saying say the minority must have their say. And the majority must have their way. It must always reflect in their doings.
Yes.
Okay, because baby, I'm going to say no. Everybody voting na mo numbers is
money
numbers. But stand on the issues.
The only way I'm for the Timon can say
exactly
issues. You guys are dealing with it.
You guys are dealing with it. They say we take a position say why you entrench on vetting
the Okono and send me a Casanka Ghana for being one.
Say BBC na NPP Kroya court. Na issues no anchor in your favor. Will you say as a Chief Justice in Naya and I judge your Tina case in this Naya?
Meanwhile, Nanka, or you got an opportunity to be asking him certain questions. Be an
exactly, because the same nominee and Justice Baffoe-Bonnie and make a serious revelation. Say or no, you're the senior most. It was Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Ofa womo e wo honi nyina what Supreme Court for 17
years.
But there came a time for over 2 to 3 years. Ye panel judges mo atena sem so e wo Supreme Court wa ye mfani din ka.
So you see?
Okay? So today sa de no sa history no ko repeating ho bi. Say ye nim obi ono nso awo Supreme Court but by virtue of the fact say empaneling people to sit on the case. A Chief Justice, let's say, and you know, what would the minority say now? Then what it means is that maybe some of the things I who say a wrong in the past, you correct. We cannot correct it.
Dabi.
Then about politics, you see.
About politics.
Okay, so these are critical issues. I think, say, going forward, no, we must be able to do away with some of these things. I mean, by virtue of the fact that your mind a year day,
your mind on mine a year
okay. President B or Bebe Biano, Edin Crawford Supreme Court.
Supreme
Court. People complain about President Akufo-Addo say or Paki Supreme Court. Now President Mahama Abba Onuswa promoted it. There are still complaints.
Yes.
Exactly. So I mean, where do we go? Where do we move as a country? Because maybe I say bibiya politics, you know, and a battle.
Say ye amend the constitution, ye judicial no edium ye autonomy. Send them away now to be tra. I'm telling you.
Well, let's see. But my yentie Chief Justice nominee kakra and award the appointment committee yentie bi na yemra yeba many doc Dr. Kankama Tenase Faith Homeopathic Clinic many no be di nkomo my yentie Chief Justice nominee emra. Yansempa.
Most of them want to come up to the Circuit Court and to the High Court. So with the current elevation of some Circuit Court judges to the High Court and the District Court to the Circuit Court, we are going to have an opening for 116. And I can assure you, we are not going to get, no matter how often, how much we advertise, we're not going to get people lawyers to come and fill these vacancies. So it is my project that I will be discussing with the Judicial Council, the reintroduction of not only the reintroduction of the career magistrates, but we should be able to have a proper remuneration regime for them so that those who can stay. Well, I don't know. I don't know where to start from. I actually do not know. I wouldn't know what goes on in the president's mind since I'm not there. But I actually will be disappointed if my only qualification for the Chief Justice nomination is because I voted for the president in 2013. But that's on a lighter note. But I think I qualify for the position. As I said, I have been a Supreme Court judge for the past 7 years. To say I am the best qualified person in the Supreme Court, I will say that. Sir John, until 1988, when I joined the Ghana Prison Service. I joined the Ghana Prison Service in 1988, and I underwent 6 months military training, and I was posted to
95.1
secondary. That's where I met my wife. At the time I met my wife, he was also a no rank person. She didn't have any rank, actually, a sixth former who was then started her career in the prison service. I was with the prison service for 2 years, till 1990, when we were told that I, as a deputy superintendent of prisons, couldn't marry a junior officer because we couldn't go to the mess together. So I opted out of prison service so that she could stay. So I joined the internal.
Yansempa.
Marinasi, it is only 49 after 8. Ayonia 95.1. And those are some of the sounds Yaboma from the appointment committee. Chief Justice Nominee, Justice Baffoe-Bonnie, and what is Okasano. Now, one more the background. Oko prisons, the Mukakra, Juma within the Ghana prison service. Honokoshi and the wife. So at that time,
am I a powerful power?
Was he?
Am I a powerful?
Am I a powerful?
Because of the wife in China, or is that from the Ghana prison service?
Oh yes.
Because now, based on prisons for Omombrano, want to mean worry
a lower rank officer.
A lower rank. Okay. Therefore, me ask me do pa, and then I resign.
And I will come.
And I will come.
Some was second job. And now your law law near Debian was second job.
And you know,
Obia now copim crowd
on your law, no, Obi on your law,
now we know the point is that said not me back.
Come up and I'll say this is
deputy. I some na make a joy.
Come up and I'll say with
and I make a joy. Say, as at the time now we'll afraid you many. No backup. Backup in any saying. Backup in any say. We free prison service in Mukrana or any private practice. And
so Obi so I resign if even police service not or engineer on to be to me.
And John is to me.
And I would and law need the yellow. I'm
just telling.
I did then I'll patch it.
Just no, that confidence now the 9 year day. It's baby. Ujaypuna will practice it. And exactly that is what he did. Or practice it until so Kora a year internal revenue service no M1 sana. Or Sababak. A Honunano could play role as a lawyer. And you know that is it. But one second option be a bedding. So because my wife I come now with him. Because as at the time no consider the wife. The wife is free my emwa. Who free my baby house.
Yes.
1 year you may be and she no. One of some pennies. And she I am my sabu man. Why? It do baby as a same way born one of my
oh yeah, but in all no Justice Baffoe-Bonnie is a gentleman.
Oh yes, I mean
yesterday me when post channel the tour.
He's a competent man.
95.1.
No, he's a gentleman. He's a gentleman. I'm telling you, and I think 17 years
at the Supreme
Court.
And easy.
The position when you say, "Oh, deserve it."
Okay,
I'm telling you, Kwame. If you want to be fair, to him, or deserve it.
Oh, experience.
Yes. If you want to be fair to him, yenyi sa partisan politics and tunchain.
Okay.
If you want to be fair to this man, he deserves it. I'm telling you.
And the controversial cases are what's naso?
Yes. Say nyono kwa nyono kwa kasa ono kwa no jeli ataya.
Yes.
Any baby
on the jelly attire.
Yes. So you see, there have been serious issues, cases are.
And did that judges no money when him know?
Yeah.
Today I tell you for me job.
Yes. What I say? And you know, with all fairness, you know, Papa we deserve it. Yeah, with all fairness.
And then when
Nimrano,
he knows the law.
Nimrano, Kwame.
So let the law be the law.
And the law is as a man was who can let the law be the law. If you are the law, need your law. If you know, I didn't